You must feel really privileged to be in a position to be one of those bands. Because so many bands just make records and they get through and they do fine, but you're one of those bands that provoke that reaction and, you know.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and I think it's definitely it keeps us going. You know, I think I'm surprised how we've managed to sort of not totally reinvent ourselves, but certainly make music which is still relevant to ourselves. You know, and it doesn't. You're not repeating ourselves from the past. You know, and I think that the having that fan base out there is one of those things that really, you know, you feel in some way that you've got to keep it going. You know.
Let's talk about some of the other things that you've been involved in of late, and amongst the making of the record you've done. No, it was nicely said. I just want to make
that mess sound a bit jaded. Though.
No, it doesn't. You know what? I tell you what, I'll put a contemporary spin on it. You've done well because you can play your asses off. Guitar Hero, you're involved in the Guitar Hero thing. Nice. It's always good. Good to be involved in the gaming world.
Yeah, you got to keep up with the modern tricks.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I had to go on it actually when we were mixing the album.
Play yourself?
I didn't play with myself, unfortunately, but we couldn't find. I think we bought the wrong one. We bought the World Tour game.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't have the new one. You're on the new one, aren't you?
Apparently, Assassin was on the World Tour game. We couldn't find it.
Yeah, me and Chris couldn't unlock it.
Right. Yeah, but Chris and Dom were pretty good at it. I was actually okay on the drums, but I found the guitar I wasn't that good at it.
We were just rocking out to Living on a Prayer, you know.
Yeah, it's great doing some
Anyone gives you the opportunity to play
all the Tiger as well.
There you go, exactly. Yeah, but you've obviously seen your likeness.
I haven't seen I've only seen they sent me like screenshots when they were making the game, which showed me looking pretty buff.
Yeah, sort of like,
you look healthy.
Yeah, looking very LA, and I'm not sure why that is. But yeah, that was funny. Yeah, it's funny how they do that. But I saw that's the only thing I've seen. I haven't actually seen the game since it's been out. It is actually out now.
It's out, yeah.
So I'll have to check it out.
It must be amazing for your fans as well to finally get a chance to play you. It's so weird. It's
it's weird.
I like it. It's a fun game. It's a great game.
Yeah.
I'd never played it before, and me and Chris whipped it out in the studio, and it's like just wicked.
It is actually, yeah. That's the first time I've seen it as well.
You learn so much about music.
In the studio, yeah, that's exactly right.
You're playing all these old like country
songs that
stuff.
I sort of recognise. What was that track by The Cult?
I said,
yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Love Removal Machine.
Yeah, just tracks I haven't heard for years.
You need to go back and revisit that record, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Seriously.
We met him the other day, the guitarist the other day, yeah.
Who, Billy Duffy?
Yeah, he was doing a gig in New York and he said hello and he was a very nice guy.
He's cute.
I told him I played that riff on Guitar Hero. He was quite impressed.
Nice. He's a killer player, man. He's written some good riffs. Yep. You know, definitely. Going out on the road with a couple of bands on the immediate legs of this tour. You're taking a Big Pink out.
That's right. They're going to do the UK stuff. And
They're
I think
a good
Biffy
band.
Clyro are going to come and do some stuff in Europe with us.
Nice. Difficult. Do you make decision as the band, or you sort of somehow?
It's just me, really.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to look into bands for the American tour, which is next year. And for summer stuff next year, so I'm definitely But Don picked the bands for this upcoming tour.
I think it must be really interesting and fun to be able to sit there at that point. That's a cool decision. You know, that's one of the fun ones when the record's done. You go, okay, cool. Who can we reach out to and want to come out and hear every night? It's kind of the sort of like the ultimate little reward, isn't it? Playing the shows.
It's great to tour with bands that you like and respect and can have fun with as well. And I always like watching the bands, whoever it is. And
well, you're all fans of Biffy, right? I mean.
Yeah, well, they did the Wembley show, one of the Wembley shows, and they're a great band, and their new stuff sounds really, really good as well.
Yeah.
So.
Have you been stocking up on your DVD box sets for the tour?
What I've been watching? I've been doing 24. That's something that I never really watched, but I just suddenly did like 6 series in 6 days.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's that addictive.
It's one of those things that it just takes the edge off travel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So done Lost, done all that.
Yeah. But by the time we get on the tour,
Entourage. I'm trying to catch up on Entourage as well.
Entourage is like one of the best touring bus bits of TV to watch.
It is great for everyone
Gets you in the mood for touring, yeah.
There's an element of that, for sure. And The Wire as well. Probably not so good for parties, but...
I'm yet to approach that one.
Me neither.
Everyone says that's very good.
People swear by it, yeah.
Californication, I like
Californication, I like that. Yeah.
There's a new one, apparently, which I haven't seen, which is supposed to be very good, called Eastbound and Down, which is a new comedy series you want to look out for in America, starring a guy who was in Tropic Thunder and Pineapple Express, the guy with the mullet. I think that's supposed to be very funny as well. We're going to talk about, the knock-on effect of Wembley, which is only really starting to sink in now, because you did Wembley and that was kind of it. Then you went back into playing your club shows and arenas. But now you've got to think about with this album. You've set the bar really high there.
Yeah, well, I think we've always aimed for like big live shows like that. I think a lot of the music you can hear is sort of works really well in large concert environments. Because we played festivals for years and years, right from sort of right at the bottom of the bill, sort of working our way up across the course of the first 3 albums, and so that really sort of got us in the mood for playing in front of big crowds. So it sort of seemed like the right thing to do, to go and play, try and play stadiums. And also it seems like there's not that many new bands coming through. You've probably got Coldplay maybe, and it doesn't seem like there's that many new bands that are playing stadiums or like reinventing a stadium concert again. It seems to be always left to U2 to reinvent it every time they do an album, or groups like the Rolling Stones, which have obviously been doing it for ages. And so I think that's another attraction as well, is the idea of a new artist, a new style of music getting into that kind of venue and having a chance to sort of do it slightly different.
Would you consider doing, touring, depending on how this record goes, obviously, but treating stadiums more like a solid run, as opposed to just a couple of one-offs?
I think we're going to try and do more next summer. We've got some plans. I mean, it's no big secret, but I'm sure we'll certainly try and do some. We might do a few festivals as well, but we'll see. But we'd definitely like to, do obviously some more in the UK, but certainly a lot more around the rest of the world and around Europe. And I think we can, and it's. I just want that laminate that says Muse World Stadium Tour.
It's a good one to have, isn't it?
Which I don't know if we'll get away with it next summer, but I think we've always had a lot of ambition to try and achieve those kind of things, and as long as you keep on working at it, it's possible.
It brings us, before we get on to Twitter questions, it's important we ask some questions from people who are using the internet in this modern way, especially your audience definitely do that. But we should talk a little bit about the forthcoming arena tour. You obviously can't give too much away till the curtain drops, but it sounds like you've been working a lot on getting this right and making it people expect an experience from you guys.
Yeah, I think we may try something a little bit more theatrical. I mean, I love people like Lady Gaga, these kind of performers that just do things which are just...
But the beard face? I'm not sure about the beard face.
That was funny.
Weird, though.
I love all that. I think that's brilliant.
That red outfit was just insane.
That was great. Some of it was great, but I couldn't handle the bit where Jay-Z was performing and they did the cutaways and Beyonce's dancing and grooving and everyone's grooving and she's grooving like a normal person with the beard face. And I was just like, you can't fit in with the beard face. You just got to sit there and look weird. If you've got the beard face, just look weird. Don't be throwing your ones up in the air with the beard face. Take the beard face off.
Well, there you go. I want to bring the beard face back. That's kind of what...
You've got to learn to grow one first, Mac, because this thing is getting there, but you've got serious work to do on them.
Yeah, absolutely. But but I think... Yeah, bringing in a couple of theatrical elements. It might be a bit risky, but I wouldn't mind trying something out like that. Bringing in a couple of actors to spin off the ceiling and do stuff where they're flying around the venue. And,
I love you guys, man. You're so funny. I love the way that you suggest something for your forthcoming arena tour and then piss yourself laughing as soon as you say it. It's awesome.
A giant eyeball. I'm trying to get a giant... Well, I'm giving away the big joke. There's a chance I want to get a massive eyeball about bigger than this room to come down and look at the crowd and make everyone feel paranoid right in the middle of the venue. I think it's a little bit all-seeing eye vibe,
Well, I just want to be in one of those ideas meetings, when you open your eyes, you get to one of those total talking things. It's like, and you open your eyes and everyone's like this.
Yeah.
I want to be one of those. It's going to be good, man, I reckon, and obviously, and you've got this new record to perform live. It's important that you get it right in the context of the rest of the songs you play. And the set that you did in Timoth was bang on, so I guess it's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, add the symphony to the equation.
We should talk a little bit about the covers because obviously you started including Feeling Good. You included Feeling Good in the Timoth show the other night. That was really good, and that's obviously still floats around. I mean, there's no real need for you to play anymore because you've got so many original songs to play. But are there ones that you still like to muck around with, or any ideas to do any more in the future?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to do. At some point, I'd love to do "Ever I Saw Your Face" by Roberta Flack.
Oh man, that'd be great.
I'd love to do a version of that, but I haven't really sort of got around to doing that yet. So yeah, I'd like some of those old, real classic songs from that period of time, the 60s or even before. I love classic songwriting by people like Sinatra period and all that. I think that just the craft of songwriting was so much more, more thought out back then than it is these days. So that's why sometimes I like to refer back to that. Like Feeling Good is from that era.
Sure, and the old Deftones riff in between songs and things like that. That was good the other night too. It was nice. We were rocking out up on the bleachers during that. Bit of Beck, Where It's At.
Yeah,
Done with some swagger.
Yeah, the old rage riff appears every now and again.
You can't resist those rage riffs, that's the problem.
I just love it when you guys decide to riff out, and so at the end it's like, we're not done with this one, let's just play for 2 minutes, it's a riff for fun. Did you ever see the guy who did the Starlight on American Idol? Did you hear about
Adam
that?
Lambert.
Was that who it was?
Oh, was it Adam Lambert?
Was it Adam Lambert did it?
I think so, yeah. I saw a YouTube of it, yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It was very, very, very hammy. It was definitely an interesting version. I mean, he's got a strong voice, hasn't he? But,
Oh, so diplomatically said. I love that. Well done. Brilliant. What about the tribute bands? Hyper Music?
What's that?
Night to Sidonia, Muse, Blackout, The Muse with the Z, Muscle Museum.
What's the Italian one? What's the Italian one?
Is it? I don't know, which one's the Italian one?
There's an Italian one who they actually do like, they sell out big venues now. In venue, they play like a couple thousand people or something.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's crazy, yeah. And they're really good as well. I think they're better than us. But they've got like, there's 5 of them in the band. Doing everything, so that's why it's all very.
Always good to keep a very close eye and a close ear on whoever's doing the best tributes for you guys, just in case someone out of the core 3 decides to bounce, or maybe Morgan decides to move on. You can always reach out. It's been known to happen. We were talking to Ian Brown about this the other day. He got his guitar player, his drummer from his tribute band, I think. Imagine that. Imagine if you were playing all your favourite artist songs, and then
suddenly you're in it.
Yeah. Who's had a go at you guys?
Phonics.
Phonics had a go, I think, back in the day.
Did they? Yeah. Really? Under what premise?
They asked to support them.
I think we could do it better than them, I think.